Hello, everyone. Welcome to Footy Banter and Insights. We are coming to you right after the United versus Spurs game, and we have two Manchester United fans with us, Rahul and Manan. I will let them take it away from here.
Surprisingly, they are still wearing the jersey.
Yes, both of them.
This is the time to wear the jersey.
True, true.
No,
You
so
must be wearing it since 10 years then, no?
I've been wearing it since 22 years in success and in failure.
Uh,
So,
yeah,
so I actually didn't see the game after the second goal, but but until then, I think it was the worst performance of the season for us. There was no control in midfield. People were just going in for tackles. Like the second goal was Lisandro Martinez sliding in, leaving space behind. So there was nothing good about the game until then. There was no positive that we can take out, and all the good stuff that had been building up until now was sort of washed away by this performance. And for the first time in about 2 years, I feel that Ten Hag may not be the right coach for United after today's performance.
But why is one match like changing your opinion so much? One off day to anyone can have, right?
But it's just like many off days have happened. How much of a rope that you can give to someone, and there was no like fight or spirit or anything shown. There was no tactical improvement. There was nothing, Like you expect that you're playing another big opponent after Liverpool, there should be some improvement, but there was nothing. It was worse, in fact.
what did you guys think of the starting lineup by Ten Hag?
I think so. The starting lineup was okay. The starting lineup was probably pretty much expected on the expected lines. But the performance was horrible. Like, I think so every outfield player had a disaster today. So the manager has to take it on him, right? If one or two players have a bad game, it is still acceptable. Maybe the player was having a bad day, but the full team having a bad game, that means the tactics and the system was not correct today. Last week, definitely, I only said here that we had one of our best performances and there was improvement, but this is a sackable performance, I believe. This was an horrible performance. And I don't think so this can continue for long now.
Could you watch the midweek game versus FC Twente?
I did.
And how was that?
It was not that good. Actually, it was probably one of our worst performances before this one. And this one is probably 3 times worse than that.
I think Ten Hag's saving grace today was not Onana but Timo Werner.
I swear it.
Had Timo Werner not played today, it would have been 5-0 or 6-0.
Easy.
And Ten Hag could have been in that red zone of getting sacked. Right now he's still he has some leeway, I am assuming. But had it been 5-0 or 6-0, I think he would have been in that red zone.
See, the problem was majorly, I think so the problem was the first half performance. Timo Werner chances, all that, because I think so the second half Tottenham was not even playing at the 100%. So we cannot even count that. But the first half performance was a horror show. When, especially before the Bruno red card, it was like Tottenham was playing some championship team. Whenever they had the ball, they were creating some chance and we could do absolutely nothing. Whenever we had the ball in defense, we were just losing it. No one had any composure. Not even one player was able to hold on to the ball. So this was a very bad performance.
So a quick
we weren't even winning tackles. Like Ugarte was brought in as a ball-winning midfielder, and I didn't see him win a single ball. Like he was going for challenges, going for balls, but he was just brushed aside. I was playing there. No upper body strength, nothing. I don't know what was happening today.
So on that Ugarte point, right? So again, going back to the starting lineup question I asked, if you see how Spurs plays, right? Their first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they go all out attack in terms of pressing you very, very high and very, very aggressively. So instead of starting someone like Ugarte and Mainu, instead of Ugarte, he could have done someone like an Eriksen in this game, in fact. where I think Eriksen is one player who can help you beat the press very easily because he's so assured on the ball, right? So I think that is where Ten Hag missed a trick. I think that midfield pivot is very, very important when you're playing against a team like Spurs in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, but you were not in favor of Jorginho playing against Spurs when Arsenal had no midfield.
Yeah, though, but we had the only option was Jorginho, right? Because
but you weren't in favor of that, right? You were like,
because
play
if I have
someone else,
Odegaard,
I don't remember which one, but you said that no Jorginho.
No,
Eriksen, I don't think so. They would have energy is also needed in such a game. I don't think so. Eriksen works,
and they were moving the ball so quickly. I think Eriksen would have struggled.
Also, Meno is pretty press resistant. He's actually the most press resistant midfielder we have. And Ugarte also, from whatever I had read about him before today, he does not have like a very good range of mid to long passing, but he's pretty composed in terms of retaining the ball. Like probably not to the level of a Zubimendi or any more other options that were available, but he like makes good small passes. So I think this was sort of like when I saw the lineup, I was like, the first time in the season, our best 11 sort of is on the field. Like on paper, best 11. So I was pretty okay with the lineup, but the performance was not even close to any of our expectations.
I just feel he's a player that you have. You have like Rashford, you have Garnacho, you have Xerxes, and then you have someone like Ugarte, right? So only two decent players who can actually keep the ball, right? So you saw United losing the ball so easily in the first 25 minutes, right? They got the ball, they kept giving it away, right? Because of the press. So when you are having and you're playing against such a team, and you're playing with someone like Rashford, and you're playing with Rashford, Xerxes, Ugarte, these guys are not your ball retention players. You need someone who's technically very good on the ball, right? And so if you don't have that, it's very difficult to play against the system that Tottenham plays, especially in the first 25 minutes, and that's where the game is made and broken, right? So I think that's where, according to me, Ten Hag missed the trick. I can understand this team on paper versus any other EPL team or any other team in Europa League. I can understand that this is your best team, but I think against Tottenham, that midfield, the combination of Mainu and Ugarte, I think wasn't the ideal one.
Is Mainu injured, or he was just sent, like he was a casualty for Bruno's red card? I read he was injured.
He is injured. He went straight down the tunnel, so there was some problem.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were supposed to sub someone else, but Mainu was sub.
Oh, even Mount got injured, so like many things went wrong for United in this game.
Mount is not a long-term injury, I think.
Mount, I think, shouldn't be. The game is gone, so they just didn't risk it.
No, he was bleeding. I'm sure, but it was an impact injury, not a
impact injury. If the game was in the balance, he would have come back in.
But Rahul, by one question to you: last season, United scored one of the least number of goals in the league. So, and if we come to this season, I think two players have been added who can really score from United's perspective is Joshua Zirkzee and Amad Diallo, who came back from a loan. So, as per you, where are the goals coming from? Like, who is scoring 20 goals this season for you? Like, where are these goals coming from?
See, last season Rashford has an off season. Ideally, we would have expected him to have a better season this season. Even Højlund, in his second season, could have improved further. Obviously, he's been injured from the start. He has not yet come in completely. Probably, those were the two people. Bruno is also having an off season. This season, actually, creating wise, pre this game. See, this game has completely done a 360-degree for our United fans, probably everywhere. Everyone was very hopeful pre this game, but this game is just like brought us.
No, leaving this game aside, but like going forward, who is going to score 20 goals this season for you? I really have doubts over those things.
So we have created a lot of chances. Like before this game, United was the team with the most big chances in the league. So we have created big chances missed, 17 chances. Right? So we have created a lot of chances. Finishing has been an issue. But like normally, as a manager or anyone who is running a team, you're not so worried when you're creating chances and not finishing them, right? You're worried if you're not creating chances. So, like goal scoring, like leaving this game aside, if you had asked me yesterday, I would have said that goal scoring would not be that big an issue. It would happen gradually.
Well, why is one game changing your opinion so much that yesterday you would have said something and today you are saying something very different?
Because it was
shouldn't
so
happen.
bad, yeah. Because
Like
it was
it's
so
just
bad.
you are just hungover with the loss, but I don't think one game should change your
No,
opinion.
it's
that
not
much.
about the loss. It's about the performance, Ishan. Right? Like Rahul will agree. It's about the performance.
Yeah.
It's not about
One
the
off
loss.
day, guys. हो सकता है यार, like don't
But
get
everyone cannot
so-
have an off day together. Everyone cannot have an off day together. There
होता
is
है यार, we also play Rahul by
something with-
sports so many times. होता है यार, like it's fine.
होता है, but after a Liverpool game where we got hammered already, and then we get hammered again, I don't think it's acceptable.
Yeah. And there was
I think-
Crystal Palace last year towards the end of the season where we lost 4-0, which was a similar kind of a performance. So, like, it's happening too frequently now.
I think time is running out for Eric Ten Hag right now. Like last time also I mentioned, he has like 7 to 8 games to prove himself. Otherwise, United will start looking at options. May not sack him, but at least start looking at other options. I'm sure the pressure will build up. There will be some outrage from the fans as well. And for, I don't know, like Sir Jim Ratcliffe has come up like he's like that beam of light for hope, as in like United will do some miracle in a season or two. But if Eric Ten Hag continues to play with such tactics and it doesn't convert into performance, I think time's really running out for him. And next week you guys have Aston Villa, and then Brentford, which is not again an easy match. Maybe third match is West Ham, but let's see. I think even Bruno is on a red card, so he's going to miss all these matches.
I actually think it's better Bruno's on
Bruno is the new Havertz.
No, he doesn't fit. He's not fitting, like he's not performing well. In fact, today I felt that at least some of his long balls were reaching the target and like he was sort of penetrating the last
Before
line
the
of
season,
defense.
Bruno would have been the first player on the team sheet. Like वो कुछ था ही नहीं, मतलब there was no contention also. But it's very concerning that how it's panning out. But let's see. I think time's really. I was looking at some stats and I saw each and every United's match expected goals. United has always underperformed their expected goals, except that 7-0 against Barnsley. And not, except Barnsley and Southampton match, United has not been able to score more than one goal in any of the matches this season. And this was the 8th match.
See, the expected goal thing is which is positive for us actually, right? We are creating chances till now. This match, let's leave aside.
Creating chances to expected goals could be much more, right? Like it is not relative. It is not relative. For example, if you're creating 2 goals ka chance, you could have created 3 goals ka chance also. It doesn't mean that you are creating but not scoring. You're not scoring first, but how much you are creating is not that ki aap underperform kar rahe ho, that means you are creating much more.
We are creating amongst the top 4-5 teams in the Premier League. We had around 10.65 XG before this match, which was amongst the top 5-6 teams.
Guys,
probably comparable to even now.
See, but creating big chances is a parameter that you cannot look in isolation.
Yeah, that's
when you are creating big chances, that's also depending on how much open you are at the back. Correct? If you are playing a strategy where you are kind of playing a counter-attacking strategy, you are playing a strategy where you are not defensively solid, your midfield doesn't have control, you can create chances, but you will never have that control or you will never have that edge in the game. Correct? So that kind of if you change that balance and become a little more defensive and be a little more organized, your creating of chances will automatically go down. Correct? So that creating big chances in itself as an individual stat means nothing.
But we haven't been so open, yeah.
The thing is, your comment is based on last season performances. This season
we haven't been so open.
Crystal Palace, even in Crystal Palace, like the second half, Crystal Palace had such good chances.
Everyone gets 2-3 chances. Varun, if in Crystal Palace, if you say that United were open, I won't take it at all.
Yeah.
No,
I
like
won't take
even
it
in
at all.
this game in the first
It
half
was
with 11 men,
everyone.
you guys had so much. You
This
gave
game,
it.
so we were horrible. No one is
This game though,
even agreeing
it
to
was
that.
bad,
No one
na?
is even
Yeah.
arguing to that.
Correct.
But before
Even
this game, if anyone is saying that we were open, I don't think.
I don't think we were open before this game. I agree. It
So if
wasn't like we were
But
like we can check the XG against, right? Like that would be a good parameter to judge.
Varun bhai, you are saying slightly more organized, slightly more compact. That's what they're thriving for, right? It's easier to say
I
to
know,
get that
but
done. Like that slight margins make a lot of difference.
exactly,
But
that's what I'm
yeah.
trying to say, right? Like, but I guess I don't know. I mean, um, it's difficult to get through United fans.
Even I
at
was
this point.
watching Ten Hag's body language today. It didn't
Hmm.
seem too encouraging. Like he was looking so clueless, and it is never like Ruud van Nistelrooy was like standing next to him, and they were just blank. I understand that they're losing, but if their body language is so dull, how can they expect their players to charge up the team and at least fight for the badge? So the body language has to improve from the top, and then they can expect the players to, at least, if not score, but at least show the intent that they are trying something.
Okay, great guys. Let's do a wrap up.
Do you want to also discuss the Bruno red card? Since you are the in-house expert on red cards.
He's the flag bearer of getting
I think a high foot. I think it was deserved. So I don't have anything to say.
I agree. I think it was.
You can't go with such a high foot, and especially with how the referees are these days. You know, like they're brandishing red cards, yellow cards.
It wasn't intentional. It was like he slipped.
He clearly slipped. He clearly slipped.
But it was still like dangerous, right? I mean, I was okay with the red
outcome
card.
was going to be the same, just that the intent was something else.
The thing is, the decision would have been whatever the referee decision was. VAR was not intervening either way. If it was not a red card, VAR would not have converted into a red card.
Yeah. Why wouldn't have changed either of the decision? If the
I think the mandate is
card,
unless there is a huge difference between yes or no, they are not going to change any decisions.
The Romero penalties, did anyone have a look? The handball?
No. It hit his body and then it hit his hand. I saw that.
See it. Did you see it properly?
Yeah.
I just saw that directly over his hand.
It hit his side of the body and then uske हाथ को लगा. I saw that. But आज अगर सच बता रहा हूँ, Timo Werner, if he was not playing and if there was Son, you guys were losing final.
But if Son was playing, we could have had a different type of game also. ये सब आप लोग ऐसे hypothetical में बात नहीं कर सकते.
By the way, Werner missed the one-on-one chance when you guys were with 11 men.
I know that.
Yeah.
उसके बाद भी.
Second half also
he was so bad.
Yeah, he was terrible. Even like he missed. They were like I think 5v4 or like 4v3, and he missed a simple pass in the box kind of a thing in the second half. So, yeah.
So let's talk about that Mickey Van de Ven's run. Like, how did he?
I think that was crazy, right? Like, I think his speed is amazing. Like the way he actually just.
So how did he reach there? Like from the own box, he reached the opposition box and just crossed and found Brennan Johnson.
I think United players just slept for some reason. I don't know. Were they not expecting it or something? I think they just switched off.
I think the whole team was switched off throughout the time that at least I was watching the game. No one was switched on. It just so what happened was Rashford, like he sort of took that touch to go past this player, and then he doesn't reach there, and Van de Ven reaches, and he just like moves past Rashford. And there's an open space. Like no one is coming to close down the space. Mazraoui is going to the left towards Werner. And then De Ligt is marking, I think, Solanke or like just covering that. And Ugarte is not reaching there. Like Ugarte needs to come and cover that space, right? So he is late. And Van de Ven is crazy quick. Yeah. Like if you see, I think towards the end of the first half or early in the second half, there was a long ball over to Garnacho, and Garnacho was
came from
ahead
behind
of Van de Ven, right?
Yeah.
And Garnacho is crazy fast, and Van de Ven is just like coming across, and he's reaching to the ball like 2 yards before Garnacho. So he's just that quick. And he's a really fast, very good defender.
That's a good find by Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was
Surprisingly,
expensive
Ten Hag
also.
did
He
not
wasn't
find it.
cheap.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
much
he
did
was
they
very
sign him
cheap.
for?
I think upwards of 40 million.
Okay.
He was signed last season, and last season also he was quite decent for them. So if you look at Spurs back four, between Pedro Porro, Christian Romero, Mickey Van de Ven, and Udogie, they have a well settled back four if you look at it.
So,
Not
in
from
fact,
today's.
Spurs were leading the table last year. They were number one, top of the table after the first 10 odd games, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then Van de Ven got injured, and then
Yes.
all hell broke loose for them because of the high line that Ange plays. Van de
They
Ven is
need
very
Van de Ven.
You
important to
need
cover
some,
the
yeah,
space.
you need someone.
Actually,
to kind
they
of-
played against Chelsea then, and then something happened after that. It was the same game he got injured, and I think there were 2 red cards in that match.
Rahul, you were saying something.
नहीं, हो गया. I was just saying basically that this match we were completely switched off. Like you were saying that technical ability, Eriksen would have probably provided a bit of stability. Dalo and Mazraoui are pretty good, very good. Especially Mazraoui is very good technically. But in the first half, I think at least 2 or 3 times both of them just gave away the ball. Like
Everyone.
whenever they had the ball, everyone was just giving away the ball.
You
So
just
there
couldn't
was
keep hold of the
off,
ball. Yeah.
Something off with United totally. And with players who are pretty good on the ball today.
Yeah.
Even Xerxes, overall in the season, he has been brilliant linking up the game, but he was just not able to link up even one pass today.
If you just see Spurs, right, even against Arsenal, I don't know if you guys saw the game. The first 20 minutes, Spurs dominated Arsenal, right? And that's when Raya had to make couple of really, really good saves. Spurs is one team where you have to kind of take out the first 20 minutes, make sure you're defensively solid. And then, of course, they can't keep up with that kind of a press throughout the 90 minutes. And that's when you take advantage of them after the first 20, 25
You have to break
minutes.
the lines, Varun bhai. You have to just break the lines.
Yeah.
Your midfielders have to be on top of it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that midfield pivot is so important versus Spurs, right? Like it's very important to that, especially that 25 minutes in the beginning. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. Do drop in your comments as to how you feel United and Spurs played. What should United do? What should Ten Hag do to improve? Do you think Ten Hag will be sacked soon? We would love to hear from you guys. Do share, do subscribe, and see you guys soon.